What's going on, beautiful people? It's your boy here, Wesley from West the Critic, here on YouTube, the one place in the World Wide Web where we actually give you a real deal, holy to the field, honest review, okay, about the movies and cinema. If this is your first time seeing me, definitely follow me on all social medias, West the Critic on Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get going now, okay? Listen, for the people in the back, all right? I am a reviewer, not a reporter. I review what I see, and that's all that I do. I am a regular kind of human being, okay? I am a filmmaker, an indie filmmaker, and I run an indie online streaming platform called Watch ACTV, where me and a couple of other indie creators create and produce original scripted content that uploads weekly. Now, I am not by no means saying that I'm certified in any particular way to review content, but everybody has an opinion, and as an indie filmmaker, I damn for sure have one, and so I like to give my opinion. Sometimes I'm funny, sometimes I'm serious, but anywhere in between all of that, I give my real deal, honest opinion on what I'm watching, okay? And this particular film that I'm talking about is going to be about the movie Plane. I start off with the actors, I talk about the script, the overall story, gives a little briefing, give my rating, and then I go to my review. If you've not seen this movie yet, do not listen to what I have to say past my rating portion of this video, because I'm gonna be talking about everything in the movie. All right, you ready? There you go. Pilot Brodie Torrance saves passengers from a lightning strike by making a risky landing on a war-torn island, only to find that surviving the landing was just the beginning. When dangerous rebels take most of the passengers hostage, the only person Torrance can count on for help is Louis Gaspare, an accused murderer who has been transported by the FBI. Okay. Released January 13, 2023. The budget for this film is $25 million. That's nice to know. Director Jean-François, Richet, however you pronounce that name. Production companies, Bonaventura Pictures, G-Base, MadRiver Pictures, Olive Hill Media. Okay, interesting that this film cost $25 million to make, and the box office so far is $41.5 million. It would be so dope if this movie can make 2 times as much as that. Like, if this movie can break off at $100 million, that'll be really, really dope. I think this movie deserves it. The fact that it only took 25 to make, they almost made 2 times that. I think that's great, right? This movie is a solid film. Let's talk about the actors. We have Gerard Butler, who plays Brodie Torrance. I like him. We have Michael Coulter, who plays Louis Gaspare. Now, he is a particular person that seems to be put in interesting projects, and his acting has been kind of like on the nose for me and in the other projects. But I will say that it really depends on what director you work with or what script you get or whatever you're placed in to really showcase your acting, because just because you aren't that great in one project doesn't mean that you're going to be not so great in the next project, right? And so Plane proved that for me and Mike Coulter, okay? Then you have Lily Krug, who plays Bree, and then you have Daniela Pineda, who plays Bonnie, and then you have everybody else, which is cool, right? It's a lot of no names in this film, which is fine by me. No name people, they can act. Like the guy that's the co-pilot on this film, he's a great actor. I loved him, right? So shout out to the acting. Overall, the acting overall was good. I was in the moment, okay? My favorite character is Daniela Pineda as Bonnie. Baby, she held it down for me. She held it down. And what I like about this, we're gonna go segue into the script territory of my review. What I like about this script is that it was realistic, okay? 2 points off for the unrealism of the landing of the plane. I don't know, but you know, I've never been in like an emergency landing, so I can't say that it's unrealistic because I've never been in that situation. But it was just interesting how they kept seeming to get the plane to land. That part was interesting. Outside of that, this script was realistic. It felt realistic. It didn't feel like supernatural. You know what I'm saying? Like the commentary, how they were talking to each other, the type of language that they were using with each other. Not one moment did Gerard Butler have like this heroic line like, I'm going to save you all and come with me. Like, it never felt like that. All of the dialogue was super realistic and super cool. Also, by the way, if this is your first time seeing me in the videos, I tend to speak with higher volume when I'm excited, okay? So my excitement means that I'm really in it, okay? So calm down, relax. A lot of y'all were like really going off on my review of The Reading, which by the way was a very funny review. So go check that out. But yeah, so the script is getting it for me, right? From the beginning of the movie, you get details and bits and details and bits about the captain, the co-captain, you know, Mike Coulter's character, Bonnie, the daughter and father relationship. Why should we care? You get all of that, and it's so subtle, but it's there, and it's like, okay, story building, story building, story building, story building. I was like, yes, I love all this. Make me care about these characters that I know nothing about. Give it to me, script. Give it to me. Who wrote this? Because they deserve it. But all right, let's move on. So acting, great. Script, great. And even though this was a $25 million film, I got budget. I got budget right when it came on, because I don't know why the director wanted the cinematography to be so dark and muted. It was unnerving for me, and it was rattling my brain on a creative space. So I was like, oh, this movie about to suck. And like the shots were like extreme wides, but close-ups. Maybe it was the theater I was in. I kind of went to. Maybe it was the theater. I don't know. But I don't know. So immediately the cinematography was giving me budget. And I was like, oh, what am I in the mood for? What am I in the mood for? I don't want another reading. Don't give me another reading. But I didn't get another reading. Y'all want to know the rating of this film? The rating of this film for me is like a high 7/8. Okay, I'll just say 8. I'll just settle on 8. This film is an 8 for me. It's an 8 for me. 8 out of 10 for me, right? The major outlets, IMDb give it a 6.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 77%. Fandango gives it a 94%. This was a good movie. Right now I'm in league with Fandango. Good movie, right? 92% like this movie. From Google users. So I'm in the 90th percentile, right? Let me get a review, a 5-star review. In these days of films based primarily on special effects and superhero bravado, I just said that a second ago. This movie reverts back to smooth storytelling. Oh, I love it. This movie reverts back to smooth storytelling while still building the suspense. A lot is going on, but the pace is smooth, enough for the viewer to take it all in. Must see on big screen to get fullest experience. Also, the storyline shows just what happens in routine airline processes, the problems with flying through a storm, and the inside the cabin view of making... Listen, me and John Orr, we're there. We're there all the way. But anyways, I am about to get into my review. If you do not want to find out about the film, turn this video off. If you've already seen the film, because I'm late on my review, let's get into it, all right? So, I have so many notes. Like, it's scrolling, see? So many notes, look at that, notes. So when I do my reviews, I like write down on my notes, how do I feel about it, right? So we're gonna start from the beginning and work our way down. Get a snack, because this might be a little long. Maybe not, but it might be. All right, cinematography is dark, I mentioned that. This is a New Year's Eve kind of a story. Daddy is on his last plane job before he gets to see his daughter. So Gerard Butler is a pilot, and right out of the gate, you see he's a troubled pilot, or he's not the top of the line pilot because he's late. And just by the way he's flustered and is looking visually, you kind of get this feeling like, okay, maybe he overslept, or maybe he had a long night before, maybe he got drunk or whatever, and he's like rushing to get on the plane. Not that the pilot should be drinking the night before, but I'm just saying, like, you kind of get that vibe of who Gerard is, right? And then he's getting on the phone with his daughter to talk to his daughter, and there's some complications with things happening, right? You're picking that up because the daughter's off and this beautiful island. I want to say she was in Hawaii or somewhere off on the beach or whatever. And the father, Gerard, was supposed to do his last job and then fly out to meet them so they can, be on vacation or whatever. And so there's story building. You're getting this, right? And so what I really liked about this film, even though the cinematography was making my eyes hurt, it was like the way that the dude shot it. The director being, let's see, who was the director again? Jean-François Richet. John. The way John shot it, the shots were very it was like extreme wide, but up close. Like, it was so weird. Like, he would be at an angle, at a slant, looking upward, and he was like putting all the pieces together to see like the busyness of the airplane, the processes of the airplane. We get our captain to finally get on the airplane, and we're introduced to, I want to get his name because he was really, really good. So I'm thinking that the co-pilot, who is John Marr? I don't know who that is. I'm thinking that the co-pilot was Yasan Ann, who was the co-pilot. And so, Gerard gets on the plane with the co-pilot, and again, story building. We get to find out how trained the co-pilot is. We get to find out how trained actually the captain is. Story building. Then we get introduced to Bonnie. Immediately, story building. We get to see how astute she is, how ready she's able to be in any given situation, and I'm loving it. I'm invested, even though the cinematography is throwing my eyes off and giving me budget. $25 million, and the cinematography is sending me. Maybe it was the theater I was in again. I'm saying maybe it was the theater I was in. Then we get to see how they talk in the cockpit or the pilot room or whatever. And we get this they're notified that the storm is coming. And I'm not gonna go over my notes. I'm gonna free off the dome because I don't want this to be like an hour-long video. So they get the notification that the storm is coming. And in my mind, does it really happen like this? I don't know. I'm not a pilot, I don't know. But the guy comes in with the iPad and he's like, yeah, you're about to go into a storm. It's 5 nicks that way, 35 nicks. They're speaking in pilot language. I don't know this shit. And the guy's like, well, why don't we just sideline and go past the storm and go here and go ba-ba-ba. Trained pilots should know what he's talking about, in my mind. But also the weather guy, who's the point of contact, should know what he's talking about too. There's kind of like a disagreement between the two of them, and then they're like, no. The storm guy is like, no, I want you to go through here. We don't have much money for gas, or whatever he said, and it's like, go through here. Automatically, I'm like, dun, 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 dun. Because this one prick is the reason why these 14 passengers are potentially about to lose their life, right? Not here for it. Completely not here for it. But we get to see how that is. No matter what, in any position that you're in on the face of this earth, you're gonna have head boss, you're gonna have the regular workers. And there's always gonna be like this conflict, this thing that goes on behind the scenes that passengers like us never really see, and nor do I wanna see it. I don't want somebody with an iPad coming onto the plane talking about, yeah, y'all about to go through the storm, but y'all be all right, go through the storm. What? Anyways, we get notified, or the pilot gets notified that, Luke Cage is coming on. Mike Coulter is coming on, and he's an accused murderer. Of course, he's black. He's falling into that, right? The FBI have to take him from here to somewhere else, back to the States or whatever they're going again. Whatever. And so immediately when I see Mike, I'm like, oh boy, is this about to be Luke Cage all over again? I didn't like him as Luke. I felt like he looks the part as Luke Cage, but what they did with that show, it didn't. There were moments, but I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan. And then he's on this other sitcom. I'm just not a fan. I don't know. It's like, maybe it's like he get the same roles. I don't know. It's just something off about his acting up until this movie, for me, right? So I was a little alarmed, and I'm like, okay, this is about to be whack. But he comes on, they put him on the plane. Then the captain has the briefing with the flight attendants, and he's like, this is what we're gonna do. And this guy is gonna be transported. Make sure we keep communication with him to a minimal, and we're not gonna, make eye contact or whatever. And the attendants are like, well, what is he in there for? And the captain's like, well, I think it's best that we just don't know what he's in there for. Let's let him sit in the back and let's not deal with him. One of the highlights for this movie is that everybody is represented in this film. I think the only type of human being they didn't have in this film really was like a fat person. There was nobody fat in this film. I don't know why, but There just was nobody fat in this film. But every like ethnicity, every like, you know, white people, black people, women, men, you know, all different kind of careers walked on this plane. I thought that was really, really dope. And of course, a lot of these people fit the, you know, the stereotype of certain passengers. But I thought it was like dope. Like everybody was included in this film, and I appreciated that for the representation point that they were trying to, you know, just have everybody represented. I thought that was dope, right? So 2 girls come on with their phones. Automatically, I'm like, they ain't surviving this movie. They ain't surviving. They dying already. They dying already. They try to sit next to Mike Colter in the back, the 2 black dudes in the back, and they try to sit back there. Mike Colter like, can y'all go to another row now? I was like, ooh. And then the lady looking at them like, why? We want to sit back here with you. Y'all so manly looking. But okay, girl, let's go to the back. So the 2 girls go up a couple rows in front of them, right? Or whatever the case may be. And we kind of get this feeling that he has a chip on his shoulder, right? And so, you know, everybody's talking about life and living life. The 2 pilots are talking about how they, you know, want to make it in the world and their dreams and aspirations and what happened to them and how they get here and all this extra stuff. Story building. Mind you, I'm sitting there trying to take my notes like, damn, I'm missing shit. But immediately, the film starts and we get into the storm, right? The storm that the storm person told him to fly through, right? But Brodie didn't want to fly through it. The captain didn't want to fly through it, but they in the storm. And you know, if y'all ever been through a storm during a flight, baby, it's not the most comforting thing in the world. Y'all are all the way up there, over 30,000 feet up in the air. Y'all going through a storm. It is not cool at all. I've been through a couple of them. Oh my God, losing my mind. And I'm watching this film, right? And you can see like the way that John, the director, had the filming, like you're in the cockpit and you get to see. And this is where there was no budget because they had no CGI outside the plane. It was just black. I felt like it was black and they had like a fog machine going outside the plane and they was in this black studio. I was like, how they couldn't afford no lights, no stars, no nothing. I'm like, oh Jesus, what is this movie about to give? But you were still in it. Because the moment the camera looked outside and it was black and all you saw was the fog coming through, which was supposed to be the clouds, baby, I immediately was engulfed in. I was like, oh no, like I couldn't imagine. Like what? It was looking scurry. It was really looking scurry, even though it was a budget situation. So I'm like, okay, like when you are able to put yourself in the position of the actor, you know that you're in a good film. And so as I'm sitting in my seat in the theater, I'm like, I'm on this plane. And so I'm worried for them, right? And so they make it through like the first initial turbulence of the storm. And then the captain decides to go on a plane and go see if everybody's okay and, you know, make sure everybody's good, right? Then out of nowhere, they hit another turbulence surge, right? And when they hit the turbulence surge, the captain, boom, hits his head on the thing. And so I'm like, oh Lord, he dazed, right? And so he go back, sit down, and you know, everybody's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Long story short, child, they come out the storm, but before they come out the storm, the dude that was bringing in Mike Colter, the federal agent that was escorting Mike Colter, drops his phone on the plane. So for whatever reason, he need his phone, okay? So he go to get his phone out the plane that fell on the ground. And then one of the flight attendants, being, you know, a good flight attendant, because I wasn't getting out my seat. I was not getting out my seat. She like, sir, go back to your seat, sir. Go back to your seat, sir. The black dude don't hear him. They hit the turbulence surge, boom. They jump up, boom, bomb, hit the ceiling. Now, I thought John did a good job by having the white person die first before the black person, because I was like, child, here we go. Black dude about to die first. But the white lady snapped her neck first before the black dude fell on the ground and died. So I was like, all right. So he thinking of people. He thinking of people. Baby, the 2 of these people them died, right? And the federal agent that's escorting Mike, this might be a long video. The federal agent that's escorting Mike looking at the federal agent dead, and he like, ooh, I'm about to get through. I'm about to get through this. Ooh, right? Right? And so I'm like, dang, what's finna go down, right? They get out the storm, but they ain't got no power. The flight ain't got no power, and it's flighting. The flight does not have any power and is flighting right now? Who on this flight? Not me. I mean, I would have had to be if I bought the ticket. But worst case life scenario, you in a flight and the power go out. What? Oh my God, I'm shitting bricks all over the place. They hard to come out my butthole because it's bricks, okay? And I'm just like, oh my God, how they about to get through this? Wesley, you know they about to get through this because it's a whole movie. Yeah, I know they about to get through this, but how? Watch it. So I'm watching it. I'm like, ooh, what they about to do? And so immediately you see the point, not immediately, but you see a moment where the co-pilot, I think his name is Jason, and he puts the somber mode in, the music playing in the background shit. He set the mood like they about to die. And so he snapped out of it for a second, and he like in a daze because he realized his life just flashed before his eyes. Good acting! Good acting on this budget-looking film that ain't really that ain't budget because it's $25 million to make her. But I'm telling you, it looked real. I don't know where that money was spent, but it looked real budgety, okay? But I'm feeling the feels is what I'm saying. I'm getting that. I didn't get that in Fear. I didn't get that in The Reading. Not once did I get feels on a budget film. And this is a budget film. No shade, but it is. And so, I'm like, oh damn, like who about to, like, is he about to die? Like, is the window about to crack open? Because they kept showing the window. And like they putting you in the seat, like the director was putting you in the seat. I'm like, the window about to crack, the Asian boy about to fly out the window. Some extreme, right? Because this is a movie, I'm thinking it's gonna go like this, but no. Somehow or way, they land the plane. And mind you, when they land the plane, it's all rough until it's not no more. So then that's when the two bits of the movie, that's when the movie became a movie. When you was like, oh, somebody about to die. So, nope, they not. The plane just stopped and they safe and sound. I'm like, what? I'm like, all right. Because mind you, they was going to go in the ocean. Oh, my God, forget about it. Could you imagine? Nope, not me. I can't imagine it. They was about to go in the ocean. Then the dude saw the land off to the side. Then he was about to land it. Then he was like, dang, I should have landed in the ocean. In my mind, what would y'all rather do? Would y'all land in the ocean or land on land? I don't know. If we could safely land on land, I want to land on land. But they landing in trees. And so, you know, then off to the side, they see this road that they could potentially land on. And so the captain take the road, to get on the road, he take the plane on the road and they land. Baby, they get off the plane, you know, sparks and stuff is flying on the plane. And it was this moment where when they landed, right, and it was like, again, the music was haunting and like it was like intense until we got to this landing. The landing was so pure in my mind, I just knew this Asian boy was about to get shot up. He was looking at him and you see him looking like he looking. And you know, he looking and shit. I just knew it was pop in the head and he did. And then they're gonna have to, I just knew the movie was gonna start like, that's what films do. But no, this script is realistic. It puts the real feels in it for you. And so they see the sparks on the plane, they get everybody off, right? Some of the passengers are happy that they landed safe, but some of the odd passengers are like, well, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do here? What's up? Then Captain Brodie sees an opportunity to where he needs to get help, right? He tells the passengers, before we landed, I saw a facility down yonder. I don't know how far yonder is, but down yonder. And it's gonna be him and Mike Coulter to go to the facility or whatever. And because he sees that Mike Coulter could have some heat in him, because he almost beat this passenger up for recording him on the phone or whatever. And so him and Mike Coulter go off into the woods, right? And they go off into the woods. They go talking a little bit, brief combo. You know, Mike asks him, do you have a knife? He says, no, I left it in the bag. Do you have a gun? He says, no, I don't have a gun. So because Brodie didn't have any weapons, Mike decides to jet out of there. In my mind, after Mike done unhandcuffed him, Brodie done unhandcuffed Mike, he in the position to think that he could just get away or whatever. At least that's what we're made to believe, right? So Brodie gets into the facility. He finds a phone. Now, I don't know how in the hell he made this old ass circuit board having broken down, having ass phone to work. But he did it. He took the wires out, did this or whatever. That thing looked fried and fake all day long. That's again, budget film, budget. I want to know what the 25 million went to. But anyways, So he fixes the phone. Somehow he fixed it. He calls his airline, Trailblazer Airlines, child. What blaze they trailing? I don't know. But he calls it, and the lady like, hey, how are you? Thank you for calling Trailblazer Airlines. I'm like, why did he call them? He ain't had nobody else to... The girl like, yes, how can we help you? He's like, hello. I'm Captain Brodie Torrance, flight 119, blah, 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 blah. Sir, we've been getting this crazy calls, pranking us all the while. How am I supposed to believe this? Do you have your badge number, sir? I'm like, woman, this man is caught out in West Bubble. You think he's supposed to have his badge on him with his badge number? I was like, no. But because he didn't have his badge number on him, the girl wasn't trying to have it. So she was like, no, I'm sorry, it's not gonna work. He hangs up the phone. Then he gets in contact with his daughter, and his daughter is like, hello, dad. And it's like, sweetie, this is me, this is you? Yeah, dad, what's going on? He's like, hold up, shut up. I need to tell shut up, don't listen to me. I need to write this information down right now because the phone might cut off. Then the baby girl go find the phone and you know, I think that was the mama or the stepmama or whoever that was, but she worried. Immediately, I'm getting the feels. Because father missing daughter, daughter missing father, you get that through the screen, it's happening. She's trying to get the information because she want to save her father, and it's a lot going on. Is that daddy? Yeah, ma, shut up. I'm here, dad, write it down, baby, write it down. I'm getting the feels, right? All the while, I'm thinking somebody about to get him because he's looking outside the window and he see a truck. Sorry for this review being long. I really like this film. So he see the truck or whatever, and so I'm like, hurry up, make the call, let's go. You got to hide. Right away, boom, he get beat up outside the head. Now this is when I'm in my seat, I'm at the edge of my seat for this film, because this movie was good. The director, Jean-François, whatever his name is, Richet, he did a banging ass job when he filmed this scene right here. Again, it was like an extreme lens wide thing with the close-up, and you're there and you're fighting with them, and they're fighting, and it was a struggle. You didn't feel like they was doing choreography. Boy, they was fighting and tussling, and the man trying to survive, and then the man trying to choke him to give him a chokehold, and all this shit is happening, and I'm like, don't die. No, he's not gonna die, Wes. He's the main character. Okay, but beat him. I'm all in there. This movie was good. I'm all in there. I'm all in. This is how you do indie filmmaking. This is how you do budget filmmaking. This is how you direct a goddamn scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about here? This is how you make a film. I'm in there. I'm invested. Baby, the captain snapped that man neck, and it was a fight to get there. It was a fight because he was getting his ass. He was getting his ass whooped. But he's struggling. He hemming him up. This captain know how to do sleepers. He hemming him up. I mean, pop, break the boy neck. Now, this is a man that he doesn't fight for a living. Like, he's not a martial artist or something. Like the regular movies be doing, like he in Taekwondo and all that. That's not him. He's a regular man. A regular man that wants to survive. Oh, it felt so good watching this. Because he did it, pop, snot neck. Then out of nowhere, you start hearing gunshots. Oh, shit. Now he about... What is this? But immediately I knew it was Mike Colter, because that's when we fell back into film reality, right? Filmality, right? It was given filmality because it was Mike Colter. He comes back with the guns. Now this is, again, what the movie does that makes me feel good. It made me feel good as a black man watching this movie. And I know a lot of y'all get all caught up in the racial issues exist, and racial issues exist in every profession. Racial issues exist in this world, every country, every state. Okay? And it's there, it's evident, right? And so the fact that we have, I don't know if this director is, I don't think he's black. I don't know what he is. I don't know. But the fact that in this movie, it's not black versus white. It's two men coming to try to survive. I loved it. Immediately and when he gave him a big ass gun, when he gave the captain a big ass gun, I said, let's go, baby, let's go, right? And so then they'd have to escape this facility. They find out what this facility was being used for. They come across this video camera where the people was hostages, and they pleading and holding ransoms and killing people and all that stuff. And so immediately when they see the video camera, the captain like, oh, we got to get back to the passengers. I don't know if this is real in real life, if the captains really care about the passengers like that, but this captain cared about the passengers. And I'm like, oh, this is dope. So they grab the guns, they get the car that with the dude drove up to the facility to get or whatever, and they head back to the plane. Meanwhile, the militia has been notified about the plane, notified of the plane's location, and now it's a fight to get back to the passengers. Baby, they get back to the passengers, and the militia are already out there, holding them hostage. Again, this is where the movie gets real. This is where the script is phenomenal. This is where the movie's like, oh, they're not playing. You hear what I'm saying? Do y'all hear what I'm saying? This wasn't like a $100 million film with Matthew McConaughey as the pilot and let me give me a profound Jamie Foxx or Eddie Murphy as the co-pilot. You know what I'm saying? You know, and so like this was hard hitting, baby. They hold them. Whoever played this role, whoever played the like co-militia captain, baby, he wasn't playing. He said, "We're the captain." You sound like ain't no captain. I'm the one in charge, right? But the co-militia ain't playing them games. He ain't playing them games. He like, I want to know what's going on. The co-pilot taking his time to respond, and then this Asian lady go running in the distance. She get popped. I'm like, see, your bitch ass shouldn't have went running. Why you go running, girl? And so the husband of the Asian lady screaming, screaming, because his wife then just got popped, or daughter or whoever she was to him got popped. Ain't nobody tell her to run. But baby, the head militia, he ain't here for the screaming and all Karen's on. He has a butcher knife. He goes and chops the dude head off. I said, oh, hell no. I said, okay, this is what this film is giving. This film is giving that. Baby, this film was so good. The passengers shut up. They're told what's going on, and then they get taken. All the while, Gerard, a.k.a. Brodie, a.k.a. the captain, is wanting to get to the passengers because they got two big-ass guns and they want to fight. But Mike Colter like, no, stay still. No, what are you doing? We about to get killed too. You want to get killed too? So two people are left behind to salvage through the stuff that they had on the plane, and Mike and Brodie go and gun them down. Pop, 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 pop. Well, not really, but Mike did the shooting because Gerard couldn't do it. He couldn't handle it because he's a regular dude not trying to kill people. But I'm telling you, this movie was so good. Listen, we get to the part where Mike Colter and Gerard go into the militia camp, and they section by section breaking down bitches. And I'm like, this reminds me of like a video game, like the way they were taking them out. People sitting there taking a leak and they getting got. Like, who does that? They do, and they did. So Mike and Gerard make it to the passengers that were held captive on in the militia camp or whatever, and you know they got this bus to the side and they want to escape to the bus. So meanwhile, all this is happening, but then we have, what's his name? Olivia Pope's husband, Tony Goldwyn, who plays Olivia Pope on this, as he's Scarsdale coming in for, you know, human relations division or something to get to figure out what they need to do for the Trailblazers to get to headquarters to get these people back home or whatever. So Tony Goldwyn is playing Olivia Pope, baby, and Kerry Washington. And he's like, listen, if you want this to work, this is what you're gonna have. I swear he was channeling Kerry Washington in this bit. And it was good though. It was really, really good. So they make it, and so Tony Goldwyn tells the advisor or whoever he was at the Trailblazers headquarters that we're gonna have to send an off the books team to get these people because where they are is off record, it's off book. Anyways, before Captain Brodie left, he wrote out a t-shirt of where they were going and why they were going there. So smart. This script is smart. These people are doing smart things. Like when Bonnie grabbed the keys from the marshal that was escorting Mike, like it was some smart stuff happening in this film. Like the writer was really, really good. Child, we get to the bus scene, then he's like, we can't take the bus, they're gonna kill us. Then Gerard throws himself as a hostage. It wouldn't have been me. It wouldn't have been me. And as he's getting beat up by the militia because he throws himself as the hostage, the rescuers come in. Pop, 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 gunning them down. Pop, 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 gunning them down. And I'm excited. You know why I'm excited? Because I love movies where the hero is winning. And the hero in this moment is winning. Oh my God, so good. And they gave every ethnic group a chance to shine in this movie. So good. I'm feeling it. I'm getting the feels. And the lead guy on the rescue team was a black man. Getting the feels. What's that man's name? Because he on here. Remy Adelaide. Baby. Big. Gave me all of what I need. Gave me all of what I need. They gunning the militia down. Gunning them. Then they escape. They head back to the plane. And long story short, not to talk about every little bit of this movie, because I can talk about every little bit of this movie. The reason why I really love this movie, again, I said it, the acting was great and the script was realistic, right? But the heroes win in this movie. Not too many people die in this movie, at least on the passenger side of things. The militia people are getting got by this rifle dude that's just snuffing them. This like sniper rifle dude just snuffing them. And I'm like, yes, that's dope. This movie was so diverse, well casted, evenly played on all the roles. Cinematography I'm not a fan of, but the script was so realistic and everything was so practical. So practically done. And it was well made with the budget that they had, right? But they allowed for everyone to survive. The captain don't die. Mike Coulter don't die. No, nobody of color died. No, I'm lying. The two Asians died, and the black dude died at the beginning. But the majority of the people survived this film. I just knew Mike Coulter was gonna get shot. I just knew, and after Mike Coulter got shot, I just knew that somebody else, like Bonnie, was gonna get shot, and I was gonna be mortified if Bonnie got shot. I was gonna be mortified if Yosan, the co-pilot who's Asian, got shot. I was gonna be mortified if Mike Coulter got shot, because he black. But they didn't shoot none of them. I was like, oh my God, like this is so good. This is really, really so good. Mike Coulter at the end helps Brodie all the way through to get to the plane. All the way through he's helping Brodie. But at the end, he's told, doesn't have any more ammunition, and he's told by Remy to go get ammunition. It's in the bag. He comes across the safety fund for the passengers, and automatically he gets an idea to stay on the island. Because he doesn't want to go back to the States because he's accused for murdering somebody, and he did not murder somebody. When he decides that he's going to stay, he tells the captain, and the captain's like, okay, cool, I got you, cool, whatever. Then he tells Remy, because Remy's calling him to come back on the plane, and he's like, no. Mike Coulter goes to run for the money. He looks at Remy. Remy could have shot him. Like the director, oh, what's that girl name? What's her name? Oh my God, what's the name of that? What's the name of her? Oh baby, she get on my nerves. What's the name of her? What's the, Lena Waithe. Lena Waithe. If Lena Waithe would have directed this movie, she would have had Remy shoot him. She would have had Remy shoot Mike Coulter, and it would have been a black on black crime situation, and he would have got the money. And Remy would have went back on the plane and rolled off. I promise you, if Lena Waithe would have had that movie, that's what she would have did, because she did it in Queen and Slim, that whack ass movie. But John, whoever this man is, the director John on the plane, made the smartest decision in filmmaking. Whoever wrote it and the director made the smartest decision in filmmaking not to show two black people going against each other. Mike Coulter is accused for murdering somebody, not convicted, but accused for murdering somebody. And then you have this cop, this black cop, super agent, off the books agent, whatever, with a gun. I just knew he was about to shoot Mike Coulter. Why? Because that's what the world wants us to do to each other. They want us to kill each other. But the fact that John, let me see if John's white. Let me see, because I got to find this out now, because now I just got hot at the end of this thing. Let me see, what is he? He white. He's white. He's white. A white man. Oh, it got me riled up. A white man allowed for that black man to get away with the money. Oh my God. See, this is why I'm passionate. I'm passionate about film. A white man let this happen in a film where that black woman didn't let them. Oh, I'm pissed. Thank you, Jean-François Richet. However you say your name, thank you, brother. And you white. Because I guarantee you, if she would have made that film, Mike Coulter wouldn't have got away with the money. He would have got shot. He would have got shot. But Remy lets him go. Remy lets him go with all that money to start over wherever, Philippines, wherever he at. And that right there made me feel so good in this movie. Made me feel so good. Mind you, people escaping on the plane, getting shot up, and escaping on the plane, getting shot up, but Mike Coulter is still alive. And then at the end of that, at the end of all that, they're about to get shot up by somebody with a rocket. Oh my, I'm like, oh, they're not about to make it. They're not about to make it. Mike Coulter comes back, is the hero of the film, is the hero alongside Brodie, alongside Gerard. So good. We get to see a white man be the hero in the plane, and we get to see a black man be a hero on land, and they save the day. That's movie making. That's how you make people feel good watching your films. That's how you get people engulfed in your films. So good. And the man gets to run off with all that money. So good. And he ain't get shot once. I don't see movies like that. I'm about to bang on this damn shit. I don't see movies like that. And it takes a man, Jean-François Richet, whatever his name is, to make a movie where me as a black man, I can see a black man be a hero, not get shot up, get away from the system with a boatload of money, and I know he survived. Because he's a survivalist, period. And he's from the military. And he didn't have to give me that. He didn't. I would have felt some sort of way if he didn't. But he did. Oh, so good. So good. Anyway, sorry for the tangent. Sorry for getting wrapped up into this, but it just, I am very passionate. I could cry right now. I am so passionate about film. Passionate about film, okay? I've had a hard life. I've had a very interesting, hard life. But I've kind of like paved a way for myself, you know, to at least do this on the indie, no money having level, right? So when I see companies and I see people and I see artists who have the money, who've gone to school, who's getting investors, doing all this and making it happen, or let me say not making it happen, and they have all the resources, and then you have someone like me who doesn't have all the connections in the world, who doesn't know anybody in the world, whatever the case may be, my story, my life, being able to make award-winning films. By the way, I'm an award-winning filmmaker on my level. And it's like, what are we talking about here? So when y'all get in my comments talking about, oh, here we go, another black person discrediting another black person. F all that. F all that. Because I'm as pro-black as you will ever, as I need to be in this effed up world I live in. I hold black people up to a high standard, or at least I try to, but it's a lot of y'all that want to dumb yourselves down and accept subpar bullshit. I refuse. And not to segue, but segueing, because I'm passionate about the stuff I talk about here. We have this white man allowing this to happen in the end of his film. This movie is bomb as hell. This movie is so good. Y'all need to go see this movie. Even though it's a budget film, $25 million ain't nothing to cough at. But you can tell by looking at the way it comes, its budget, you can tell. And it's fine. But even still, I felt the feels. The acting was great. The script was phenomenally realistic and just amazing. There wasn't like this heroic moment where it's just like, oh, Adrian, I got you. Go, I'll save you. None of that stupid, corny crap. Real people, real storylines, real connections. They did a banging ass job. This movie is an 8 out of 10. The reason why it's not perfect is because, you know, the way the plane landed was a bit unbelievable for me, and the cinematography was a bit for me. But the movie was so good. The movie was so good. Like 8 is like, you know, 10 is absolute perfect on all cylinders. 9 is like only one thing a problem, and it's a small thing. 8 is like, it was a couple little things that kind of subjectively was off-putting, but it was still phenomenal film. I give Plane an 8 out of 10. Sorry for the rant. I love film. Film motivates me. Film encourages me. Some of y'all are into music, you know, like that heavy, but I'm into film that heavy. Anyways, what did you think about the film? Did you see the film? Did you like the film? Do you agree with my rating? Do you agree with my points? Let me know. Let me know how you feel below. Leave your comments. Heart this video. Let's get this video to 100 likes. That'll be so amazing if we can get this video to 100 likes. And yeah, I get passionate with my reviews sometimes when I care. And a lot of times I do care. Deuces.